Hello everyone, my name is Gabriel Damasco and this is my artistic integrity homework responses. Some special circumstances of my life that made me see with special eyes was not to be dark or anything, but growing up I was bullied a lot in elementary school, middle school, and even at home because of my older sibling. And it just made me realize that despite all of that stuff going on in my life and having a huge impact, especially it was rough, but uh, it made me appreciate that despite that I've I didn't like become like even worse than them, and I turned out to be like a good person out of it. Despite all the hardships, I grew to be the better person, and I think that contributes to who I am today. On a positive note, let's go on to question number 2. Some story topics and themes that I would like to work on this semester is, I think the big one would be man versus man, specifically good versus evil. And I feel like uh, it'll be really awesome to uh, use that style of storytelling, especially with the hero's journey, for example, because that's like a always like go to with that type of theme, and I think that'll be really awesome to work on that. Another story slash theme that I would like to work on would be redemption and man versus self. In this case, I can develop complex characters and have them have their inner struggle, and then in the end they go through this journey and become they overcome that inner conflict in themselves, and I think that would be really awesome. My favorite character for any form of filmed media, I think I would have to go with Naruto from Naruto, obviously, Shonen Jump, Shippuden, Boruto, you know. Shout out to all the anime fans out there, but I really love Naruto, and he's really interesting to me because growing up, he was shunned by the community because of who he was. But despite all of the circumstances in his life, he chose to never give up and to always pursue his dream to become the Hokage because that's his ninja way of life. And I think that was Naruto is just a very cool character. And if you guys haven't watched Naruto, you should. It's really good. Although it's pretty long, but I think it's well worth it. I just realized that my favorite movie and why it connects with me is actually from another form of Japanese media, which is actually a recent one that I actually watched last year for the first day of January, which is Godzilla minus one. And despite the stereotype of kaiju films not doing well or like being like shunned by the community because there's just like monsters like all out attack and stuff, this one broke the stereotype and broke the formula because of focusing on the human characters and actually making me care about what was actually going on. And when some stuff happens in the movie, I'm like, my goodness, like, are they actually going to be okay? Like, you care about the human characters. And obviously I grew up with Godzilla. I grew up with watching the pretty much most of the films, and seeing Godzilla minus one from that perspective, seeing Godzilla as instead of the hero, he goes back to his villain roots, which he which he did start off as a villain in 1954, and then he would go on to go through this up and down scale of becoming like one movie he's a hero, another point he's a villain, but this time he does go back as a villain and then makes you feel intimidated by him. And also the fact that the budget is like less than $15 million, and this is from Japan, and making it look so phenomenal on screen. And even like, I still need to get to watch the black and white version of the film, but I think that's one of my favorite movies that I really love to connect with because of my past. The whole reason that I write, it's um I really have a really good imagination, and I know that's like enough to justify like my ability to write and or why I do it. But I feel like that's definitely like a something to keep in mind of, because using my imagination, I could develop this amazing world made with well-developed characters, having them go through circumstances in life or their obstacles, and going on the journey like to overcome that, to ultimately pursue their goal in life. I think that's uh, I think that's really awesome, and honestly, the imagination is the limit. I think another reason that I write is just to let people know my side, my perspective of life, or depending on the situation or depending on the topic that I had to write on, I want to I want to inform others of my side of the story and how I interpret it. And I think that's it's very crucial to learn about other people's perspectives. Thank you guys so much for listening and enjoying my artistic integrity responses.